Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
What would you answer somebody who asks you, can you prove the existence of God?
Existence of God cannot be proved like something in the laboratory which can be proved by putting something in a test tube and putting something else. God cannot be proved that way. If somebody asks whether you can prove the existence of God, we can only ask him, can you prove your own existence? Or can you deny your own existence? Yourself and God are not different. So if you feel you exist, you have to be sure God exists, because you and God are not different. If we are all asked, what is the purpose of our life? What is the goal in our life? What are we working for? We may have different opinions, different answers. Some of those who have come here may say, having seen the world, having done something in the world, now our goal is God realization. If we ask somebody else outside the ashram, they may say, my goal is to hold a lot of money, lot of property, and lead a happy life. Another may say, I want to study, I want to be a scholar, I want to attain a high position in life. So everyone may have different goals in their lives. And to work out that goal, they must place that as ideal before them and strive their maximum to attain that state. As far as the sadhakas are concerned, our ideas must be the lives of great men, great saints. Let us think of the lives of some, say, Kesava, closest to us, our beloved Papa and Mataji. What can we learn from them? If we remember Papa, the moment we remember Papa, we think of his ever smiling nature, his great love for all. And if those who have studied his life know that how intense was his sadhana, how devoted he was to his sadhana, and how soon he could reach the goal. And having reached the goal, how free he was. He lived like any other ordinary person, but lived in God, though engaged in all the activities. He was in the world, living in the world, but not of the world. He was living in God and moving in the world, which he realized as God himself. When one becomes a saint, that is one who has realized his oneness with the truth, he is free from all bondages. He is free from all sadhanas. No more spiritual practices are necessary for him, because he has already reached the supreme goal he had set before him. Now, when we think of Mataji, we see how self-sacrificing her life was. From her childhood, she was for serving others. And when she started her spiritual practices, how intense was her sadhana, and how soon she could realize her self. And her service to the Guru is the most prominent aspect in her life. From her childhood, she was devoted to saints and gods. Whenever she visited a temple or passed by a temple, she would bow down before the deity, even though the door of the temple was closed. She felt the divinity in the temple and made it a point to pay her respects to the deity. And whenever she met a saint, Though she kept herself away, did not go very close to the saints or move with them in those days. She had great respect for all of them. And when she entered the spiritual path, she developed such respect for the saints that she looked upon them as very embodiments of God Himself. He had to take initiation from 4 saints at different times. And somehow from the very beginning she knew that all saints are one. All are embodiments of God. Means God Himself had come in the form of saints. When she took initiation from one saint and had to take initiation from another, she did not feel that she was taking initiation from another guru. She was only feeling that the same guru was giving her initiation again in another form. Like that from the 3rd guru and also from the 4th guru, which was Papa himself. So from the very beginning she could accept that God Himself had come in different forms as Guru to give her initiation. There was absolutely no conflict in her mind. Nowadays it is a very common question. How can we take initiation from different gurus? That question had been answered in her case from the very beginning itself. Guru is only one, but come in different forms. Guru is God Himself, come as saints in different forms. That was her firm conviction from the very beginning. And her service to the Guru was unparalleled. She started serving beloved Papa in the ashram at Kasaragod by going to the ashram in the mornings, sweeping the entire courtyard and the ashram itself, cleaning all the vessels, washing his clothes, and then sitting there to listen to his talks, spend the whole day. And this she did constantly, chanting the holy and all-powerful Ramna. Though this service she did was backed up by the powerful Ramna that gave her the maximum benefit. She knew that God has manifested as the entire universe, and therefore God who had come in the form of the saint whom she had accepted as Guru and was serving, looking upon him as God Himself, was also in all other forms in the universe. So her service did not limit itself to the particular form of the Guru as beloved Papa. She served all the devotees who came to see beloved Papa and looked upon them as different forms of beloved Papa himself. Thus, after realization, this became a permanent experience in her, And when both of them came to this ashram in the year 1931, this became a field for her to express the universal love she has experienced in universal service. Everyone who came was looked upon as different forms of beloved Papa himself, and she tried to serve them to her capacity. This service she continued not for 1 or 2 years, but till she dropped her body. Everyone who came here was for her own beloved Papa, and any service done to them was her service to beloved Papa. That was the glory of this service, that we can think that Mataji was for us, ideal of service. As she had realized her oneness with the Lord at whom she called Papa, she would sometimes say, I am serving beloved Papa in different forms. She would also say, I am serving myself in different forms, as there was no difference between her and beloved Papa, the universal existence. Now, if we are to keep Mataji's service as our ideal, we should try to look upon everybody in the universe as different forms of God Himself, God or our Guru Himself, and serve them with so much love and devotion. In Mataji's case, though she had to attend to various activities in the ashram and had sometimes to take the devotees to task for their lapses, she was only feeling that she was taking Papa himself to task for the lapses. This is very funny. When she had so much reverence for beloved Papa, why should she take him to task for any lapses? Why should she not teach any lapses at all, is the question. When she was asked, she would say, I am taking myself to task. I commit some mistake and I feel bad about it, and I take myself to task for that mistake. So when she was identifying herself with everything, this question naturally satisfied us. We could see in her actions and in her words that she was always in that high plane of consciousness, identifying always with the all-pervading existence and the entire manifestation. She expected all of us also to at least try to reach that level of consciousness. Suddenly she would call one of the devotees and ask him or her as if she was meeting her or her for the first time. He would say, "Come, sit down. Who are you?" That person would naturally give his or her name. "Who is your father?" Answer would be so and so. "Where are you coming from?" "Such and such a place." And say, "All right, you go." He would send that person away with great disappointment. Why? She was not satisfied with the answers given. The answers given were based purely on body consciousness. She expected the devotees to rise above body consciousness and answer from a higher level of consciousness. She expected them at least to say that I am the child of beloved Papa, the all-pervading existence. Or simply say, I am the child of God. Or at least say, I am your child. All this did not come from the devotee, so she was very much dissatisfied because nobody came or tried to go above body consciousness. In spite of chanting Ram Nam and doing so much seva, etc., etc. Her desire was that everybody who came to the ashram, whether the workers for earning their livelihood or devotees coming for getting advantage of beloved Prabhupada and Mataji's presence, or spiritual aspirants who wanted to stay here for sadhana and realize God. She wanted all of them to aspire only for God realization. And she was very, very disappointed when they did not rise to the level she expected. So, unfortunately, though after having attained the highest, her life was, or rather showed, disappointment every now and then when she thought of the devotees who came to the ashram for spiritual progress. She used to express this to her Papa also, but Papa was of a different type altogether. He said, Ram arranges everything in his own way and at the proper time. You cannot either force anyone to progress on the path. Forcing does not work. You have to leave everything in the natural way for Ram to work out. That was his answer always. But she was not satisfied with that answer. She would ask Papa, Papa, you must do something to expedite their progress so that they may attain eternal happiness very soon. Papa would laugh at it and keep quiet, can't do anything about it. So that was the mother's heart. She wanted everyone to get the maximum benefit by their coming to the ashram and by serving our beloved Prabhupada. These are about our Papa and Mataji. And we have some other saints who are recently in physical body in our midst. Say case of Raman Maharshi. His case was unique. Though he was not striving for God realization, he got an experience suddenly that gave him illumination. He suddenly felt he was dying and the body was inert for some time. But he knew that he, the real he, was alive. That experience gave him the illumination. And according to him, no more sadhana was necessary, but all the same, he was drawn to Tiruvannamalai and sit there in meditation or in the thought of the real self in him and spend days or years in the same place. After reaching Tiruvannamalai, he lived there only without going anywhere else till he dropped his body in 1950. Unlike Papa and Mataji, he never engaged himself in worldly activities. He remained there quietly, and if anybody approached him and asked him any question, he would give an answer in a few words. If the question did not demand any reply, he would simply keep quiet. Even if the question was repeated any number of times, he never answered it because he thought it was not worth answering. Though he did not desire to an ashram, those round about him, the devotees themselves or some others, built a place for him. He never said yes or no for anything. He simply lived there as a guest, as if the ashram did not belong to him. Even some devotees asked him about certain matters. He would say, you ask the manager of the ashram. If there is any complaint, you go and tell him. He never considered the ashram was his. Even sometimes he has remarked, that he was only a guest in the ashram. Whatever the management did here, he did not utter a word in favor or against. So detached he was. But to the devotees who were real seekers, he gave the proper direction and guidance. So we cannot say saints will be doing certain things in a particular way. Every saint is different from the other. The common thing with them is the realization of their self or realization of God. That is common with everybody, but their lives may differ according to their nature and also according to God's will, who works through them for the benefit of the world. Somebody went and asked Maharishi, it seems, why are you sitting quiet? You must do something for the benefit of humanity. Mahasi seems lost. How do you know that I am not doing it already? Do you think that running here and there and making lectures and discourses only will serve humanity? My presence itself will help the humanity to evolve. That is what saints do. Saints who are observing even mauna, they don't take part in activities, not only take part in activities but even observe mauna and stay in the Himalayas alone, always in communion with the Lord. They also contribute a lot to the welfare of humanity. It's not necessary that they should always be active in the day-to-day life. It seems Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh, who was always busy with the varied activities in the ashram, and has written more than hundreds of books on different subjects. He was a contemporary of Swami Tapovan, who stayed in the Himalayas in Uttarakashi. He was the guru of Swami Chinmayananda. Swami Tapovan lived alone in a kutia, in a hut in the Himalayas, and never stirred out of that place, except occasional visits to Rishikesh, a few miles down. So, on the other hand, Swami Shivananda was busy with varied activities. This is a contrast. When Swami Tapovan was very ill during his last days, it seems he was asked to come down to Delhi for treatment. It seems he told the devotee who pressed the matter that God had been waiting for him for a long time, and there is no need for taking further treatment and all that. His life had to be left in the hands of God, and he stayed on in the kutia till he attained samadhi there itself, and his body was immersed in the Ganges. It was almost like Raman Maharshi, who stayed in Arunachala hills till he attained samadhi in 1950. So some saints are fully engaged in activities in the world. Some others sit quiet and serve humanity. There are different types. Brother Papa and Mataji were fully engaged in activities to help others as much as possible. They didn't say help others, to serve others as much as possible. And they did so till the end, till they attained samadhi. There are also saints, great avadutas, who never even teach the devotees who go to them, who just keep quiet. Those earnest aspirants or even inquisitive people go near them, sit for some time, and go away. Peculiarly, when they go and sit by his side, they are filled with and unearthly peace. They enjoy that peace and go away. And these Mahatmas just go on sitting there, unconcerned of what is going on outside, who came or who went. They eat food if given to them. If not, they do not even ask for it. But others